with Valentine's Day just about 2 weeks away, everything on my craft table has been Valentine's Day related. And today I'm going to be working on a little favor bag. I found these little treat bags at the dollar section in Target, and they're super, super cute. They're a little, I think they're more cotton canvas than anything else, and they are a really pretty white color with really, it's kind of hard to see, but they're really teeny tiny hearts on there. So it's a perfect blank canvas for an iron-on project. So I'm going to be doing an iron-on project. I'm going to put a little design on here. Again, you can find this in the dollar spot. And they're super, super cute. So there's a lot of ideas for these. If you wanted to make little treat bags for your kiddo's classroom, you can stick like a little pack of crayons in here for Valentine's Day. And you could do candy, anything you want. So I thought these were just really, really sweet and the perfect size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using Everyday Iron-On. And this is a really nice blush color that they have. And this is Cricut brand. And then I'm also going to be using my weeding tool and scissors, and then we're going to be using the heat press to apply the iron-on to the favor bag. I'm also going to be using my easy press mat, and then I'm going to be using my protective sheet as well when it's time to apply the iron-on. So before I go into design space, let me clip off this little tag, and then I'm going to measure the little bag. That way I know how big or small my design should be. So I'm just going to use my measuring tape, and it looks like I have about, I'm going to actually put my measuring tape a little bit in, because when you are flattening out your piece, you'll see that there's some seams on the side that you're going to want to stay away from, so you're obviously not going to want to go that far. So just be mindful of that. It's about 5.5 by, and I'm going to measure from this little section down, because this all has a cord underneath it, so you're not going to be wanting to do anything iron-on related there. So it's almost a perfect square. It's about 5.5 by 6. Okay, so let's pop into design space, and I will show you the little design that I found, and I think it's super cute. And then we're gonna have it get cut out on our mat, and I'll show you how you cut out iron-on. It's a little bit different than how you would cut vinyl, so I'll show you that, and then we will use our Easy Press to put the design on our canvas bag.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the images icon over here. It's the 4th button down on the left, and I'm going to click that, and I am going to go to categories. And if you guys haven't done this, this is one of my favorite ways to find images. I think it's just really fun. Everything's kind of grouped together. So originally when I found this image, I just went down to the Valentine's Day category. And what you can do is you can actually, if you're just in the default area of images, you can type whatever you want in here and find it, but the categories area is a little bit more inspirational and fun to like search through to find things. And look at these cute candy hearts, aren't they sweet? I thought those were really fun, and I was tempted to do that for this idea, but then I found a different one, and it is called Love Hearts. I had to check my little notes because sometimes I find the best little designs, and I have to write down all the little ideas that I get while browsing in here. Okay, so this first one is the one I'm going to be using. So I have it down here in my little queue, as I like to call it, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit Insert Images. Okay, so I have that. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to create a shape box, and I'm just going to make a little canvas of how big my space is to work with. So it was a width of 5.5 and a height of 6. And again, that was from that little corded section down. So the bag does go a little higher up here, but this is my kind of workable space. And I'm just going to make this more of a white color, because that's pretty much the prominent color on my bag. And then I am going to right click and say move forward. And then right here is where I can start sizing my little design. How cute is this? I thought this was really fun. And then I love how the letters are cut out too, because then it will show that pretty pattern with the little hearts that's on the bag through the little letters. So I thought that would be fun. Another reason I chose this design is because it was nice and bold, and I think you need a little bit something more bold and big on an already patterned surface, just because it will stand out a little bit more. Okay, I think that's the size I want to go with. I'm going to grab my measuring tape and just double check myself on the actual bag. And that looks good. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to hide my square that I created, or rectangle I created, and I'm going to go ahead and hit make it. And the reason I hid the square is because if I didn't hide it and I went to hit make it, the Cricut would be prompted to cut out a rectangle shape, and we don't want that, of course. We're just using that as a little cheat sheet. So we're going to hide that and hit make it, and then we're going to come over here and hit mirror, because we are going to be working with iron-on. And I'll show you when we are going to go put the iron-on our mat. It'll make a little bit more sense, but for now, always mirror your project when you are working with iron-on or HTV. Let's hit continue here, and it's just going to find my maker via Bluetooth real quick. Okay, and I'm going to be using Everyday Iron-On, and it's one of my starred favorites, so I'm just going to go ahead and click that. Now, Cricut is so sweet, and it reminds you, make sure mirror is turned on and iron-on material is face shiny side down on mat. So they do everything that they can to make sure that your project is successful. So again, I'm going to go over here, make sure mirror is on, and it is. It says mirror on right here, so I'm good there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load my mat and show you how I'm going to place that shiny side down.
Okay, before we get to cutting our material, what I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat the Easy Press. And what I'm going to be doing is I looked on the heat press guide on Cricut.com, and it is recommending that you do 340 for 30 seconds. And I went with the cotton canvas option on the heat guide, and then of course I put in my Everyday Iron-On. So let me go ahead and we're going to preheat that to 340. And then it looks okay, perfect. So that's going to heat up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my iron-on my mat. And this is what it means. If you guys can see, oh, actually I have some scraps, so I will use those. Perfect. I always roll up some of my scraps within the vinyl or the rolls, and so sometimes I'm super surprised with the material that I have, so this will actually be perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if you see this, there is two different sides. There is the dull side, and then there's the shiny side. And the reason why this is shiny is because this is actually a built-in transfer sheet, so you don't have to use any additional transfer sheets when you are working with HTV or iron-on. So what I'm going to do is, again, it's saying go shiny side down. So I'm going to put that shiny side down right on my mat. And I'm just going to use my brayer tool and get that nice and flat. And then just load it in the Cricut, and it is going to cut out for us. Now while that's cutting, I'm going to remove my craft mat because when you're using the Easy Press, things under it can tend to get a little warm. So I'm going to remove that and get everything else ready to go. Okay, everything is cut out. So I'm just going to remove my little design from my mat. And taking my scissors, I'm just going to save my scraps because I have plenty to save and hide in that little roll again. Okay, perfect. And this is actually going to be a really easy design to weed, because you just have to weed out the negative space around the hearts really quick, and then go ahead and do the letters inside, and it's quick and easy. So when you're weeding, all that means is you are going to be removing anything you don't want in your design. And HTV is so easy to weed. So is vinyl, but HTV is just kind of, you guys will see when you do it yourself, you'll see the difference. It's pretty obvious. Okay, easy peasy. So you could see if you were making a lot of these, say for your kids' classroom or multiple kiddos, that this is actually a very ideal design, because it's going to be so easy and quick. Okay, so we're done with these. So now I'm going to bring out my Easy Press mat. And you can use a towel should you not have a mat. Just make sure when you use the heat guide on on Cricut.com that you select the towel version. That way your directions will may change based on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to, the Easy Press is all heated up, and I'm just going to preheat my material really quick. It just says to preheat it for about 5 seconds. Okay. And I have my protective sheet ready. Okay. I'm just going to measure the sides. Let's see here. Jeez, I'm so good. I'm so good at that. My eye, I think, is super accurate, because I end up always wanting to double check with my measuring tape, but it's usually just spot on. So, okay. So I'm just going to actually place this towards the top of my Easy Press mat, because of the corded top band here, just to make sure everything's flat. And then I'm going to just place my protective sheet right over it, and then it says 340 for 30 seconds, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and hit my, oops, hit my Cricut button. Okay, and it does say light pressure. That's why I love the heat guide, because it's very helpful, and the directions can tend to be specific depending on what you are ironing on and what you are using as an iron-on, so it's always nice to look it up. Okay. So this protective mat gets very hot, so make sure that you are very careful. Go ahead and set that to the side. Okay, and I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to do that again for 15 seconds on the back. So it does say to use a warm peel on this. This is really hot still, so I'm going to just be patient and let it cool just slightly. Okay, so I waited about 2 to 3 minutes until it is warm to the touch. Sometimes I peel too quickly, and not good. So I've learned to just be patient and make sure it's just nice and warm and not cool yet. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and peel. It looks really good. Oh, it looks really good. Okay, though it was worth the wait. I think I might just press it one more time just because some of the edges of the hearts, they are down, but I think when I went to peel up a little bit, some of them kind of look a little frayed around the top. So I'm just going to do it one more time, and if you ever want to just repress, then just use your carrier sheet. So you guys see why that's shiny on that side. This is just a little built-in carrier sheet. So just place that right back down, and you can repress. And again, that's down. I just think, just to be safe, I'm going to do it one more time because there's a couple little spots that I see are kind of, just need a little bit more help. So let me do that. But that is so quick and easy. So if you had a little assembly line of them to do for a little classroom, this would actually be pretty easy. Just put on maybe Grey's Anatomy or something. Do you guys love that show as well? We're actually restarting it right now. We're only on season 3. So it's going to be a while till we're caught up with the rest of you guys, but it's such a good show. Okay. And again, this is hot, so just be careful. I have burnt myself on that before, and it is not fun. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, I know this is already down, so I can just peel that off. Looks great. Okay, there it is. It's so cute. I really like how it turned out. And again, I like how the bulky design really looks good against that patterned background. I think it looks really sweet, and you can see the little hearts coming in from the little windows of the letters. So, okay, this is a really fun idea. Again, if you wanted to do this for kiddos in a classroom, you could put a little pack of crayons in there, some stickers, candy, whatever you guys like to do for Valentine's Day. I just think it's the perfect little size bag. And then again, it's like a little corded bag, so you can just get it all tied up there. So, okay guys, make sure you give this tutorial a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and I'm going to be continuing a bunch of Valentine's Day things for the next few days so that we are all ready to go for the big heart day, and so make sure you guys are all subscribed so you're not missing out on what we're going to be doing next.